Tonight, influx of kittens to the Waikato SPCA, warning from Waikato Police, and improving Waipa District heritage site. Kia ora and good evening. Welcome to Central News on TV Central for Thursday the 9th of April. I'm Amanda Harper. In today's news, Waikato Police are warning of the emergence of a behind-the-scenes black market in which stolen firearms are becoming hot property. Detective Sergeant Andrew Mortimer of the Waikato Tactical Crime Unit says so far this year there have been about 17 firearms-related burglaries, resulting in over 75 guns being stolen from across the district. He says there's no one isolated area where these burglaries are occurring. The most recent incident saw 10 firearms stolen from a matamata property over the Easter weekend, while the week before 2 aria homes were targeted. Other areas affected include properties in Raglan, Te Kaupata, Waiho, Thames, and 3 burglaries occurred in Hamilton. Mr Mortimer said all too often police investigating drug and dishonesty-related offences were recovering firearms as well. He says illegally obtained firearms have become sought-after commodities in their own right, and there appears to be an unhealthy market developing where offenders can obtain and offload firearms. It's officially a kitten season at the Waikato SPCA, and the need for more foster homes is more important now than ever. There are more than 400 kittens placed in foster care across the Waikato and 70 plus cats and kittens on site in Hamilton. Sarah Elliott Warren, the Executive Officer for Waikato SPCA, says the kitten season lasts a long time these days. She says a flood of kittens are born at the beginning of the year, and now is the time that they come to the SPCA for adoption. Sarah says they wouldn't survive without their foster carers and that they are the backbone to the organisation. She says it is a simple process to become a foster carer.
People who want to open their homes to help us maybe don't want an animal permanently or just want to be that extra bit of support. They'll take a litter of kittens or a mummy cat and kittens home. They might look after her for anything from a week to 6 weeks, and then she comes back in time to be adopted.
If you're wanting to foster a kitten, head to the website waikatospca.org.nz, download a form and take it into the Alice Street branch in Frankton, Hamilton, or contact your nearest SPCA if you aren't from the Waikato. The Hamilton City Council has decided that Resolution Drive will be extended to connect with the Waikato Expressway. Council's Strategy and Policy Committee yesterday resolved to support the construction of local roads, which will connect the city to the new $972 million section of the expressway due to begin building this year by the New Zealand Transport Agency. The Resolution Drive extension will include walking and cycling links and a roundabout connection at the intersection of K Road and Resolution Drive. The Transport Agency's Waikato Highway Manager, Kay Clark, says the agency has worked closely with Hamilton City Council, Waikato District Council and Tainui Group Holdings, which are developing the inland port at Ruakura. This is to ensure the Hamilton section supports the region's growth and development and provides an integrated transport network for all road users. She says this section of the expressway is going to deliver growth and economic development to Hamilton's door. Rail and Maritime Transport Union is claiming that KiwiRail is failing to fulfil its environmental obligations. Rail and Maritime Transport Union General Secretary Wayne Butson says KiwiRail is considering replacement options for its electric fleet operating on the Hamilton to Palmerston North line. One of the options under consideration include replacing electric locomotives with a diesel locomotive. He says this option will take the company and the country backwards. KiwiRail responded to Central News saying that no decision has been made to withdraw the electric locomotive fleet from operation, but admit they are reviewing their options. They say their EF class of locomotives have reached the point that a review of their future is required due to poor performance that is beginning to impact on their operations. 2 of the 3 options being considered involve retaining electrification, including refurbishment of the existing locos and procuring new electric locomotives. World Parkinson's Day is on this Saturday and is dedicated to raising awareness about Parkinson's and the impact this condition has on people's lives. The day commemorates the birthday of Dr. James Parkinson and is celebrated by Parkinson's divisions and branches throughout New Zealand in a variety of ways. Parkinson's New Zealand Clinical Lead and Acting Chief Executive, Stephanie Clare, says there is no reason for anyone to face Parkinson's alone. Community educators can come to your home and there are support and exercise groups throughout New Zealand. She says Parkinson's New Zealand's Community Educator Service is leading the way in helping people with Parkinson's by providing support, information and education. And now for our region's weather. Hamilton, periods of rain with northwesterlies dying out later on, high of 22 and low of 13. Rest of the Waikato will be the same. Paeroa 23-12, Matamata 21-13, Te Awamotu 22 high, 13 low, and Tokoroa 19 and 14 low. Over in the Bay, Tauranga will be periods of rain as well with northwesterlies, high of 23 and low of 16. Te Puke, your high is 20 and overnight low of 16. And for the marine forecast, on the west coast Raglan, northwest 25 knots, high tide is at 1:54 p.m. East coast Bay of Plenty, the northwest rising Friday morning to 25 knots, high tide is at 11:41 p.m. Coming up in the show, how to prevent blindness from glaucoma. Welcome back to Central News. Glaucoma is the #1 preventable cause of blindness in New Zealand. Blindness from glaucoma can be prevented by early detection and appropriate treatment. Our reporter Rachel Sutton talks to Dr. Sam Kain ahead of their public meeting in Tauranga.
Yeah, our next public meeting's in Tauranga here, in Tauranga at the Armitage Hotel on the 18th of April, so that's a Saturday, and we're kicking off at 10 o'clock and we'd like to see as many people there who can come. If
we have a family member who has glaucoma, is it a good idea for us to come along to the meeting to find out more?
Absolutely. We'd like people who have an increased risk of glaucoma, so that's people with a family member, importantly, and if they come along they'll learn a little bit more about glaucoma and what treatments are possible and what they need to do to prevent any problems from glaucoma.
Is there different types of glaucoma?
Well, there are a lot of different types of glaucoma. Most of them are completely painless. They just take away your peripheral vision gradually over months or years without any other sign, and you're not even aware that the vision is being lost. There are others which are less common, which do cause pain and redness of the eye. There are a number of different causes of glaucoma that your specialists will know about, but essentially they all have the same end outcome if they're not treated, and that's blindness.
What are the different types of treatment available?
Well, there are lots of treatments that are available. They range from a simple eye drop once a day right through to a number of different types of surgical procedures. We use lasers quite a lot to help with glaucoma. For the vast majority of people that we treat with glaucoma, they take a single eye drop once a day and it removes the risk of blindness almost 100%.
Once we've been diagnosed, is there certain lifestyle changes that you'd suggest that we make?
Well, there are some lifestyle changes that are important, but the absolutely key lifestyle change you must make is to remember to take your eye drops for most people. Apart from that, general lifestyle changes can be effective, so that's exercise, aerobic exercise is good. There's some evidence that dietary antioxidants can be helpful. Other than that, the avoidance of eye injuries is important, so wearing eye protection. So there are a few things that people can do.
And what are the statistics in New Zealand?
Well, it's a key leading cause of preventable blindness in New Zealand. Tens of thousands of people in New Zealand have glaucoma, and unfortunately most of them, or around half of them anyway, probably don't even know they have it. So until you know you've got the problem, that you're not going to be doing anything to prevent the blindness from occurring.
And what research is being done on glaucoma in New Zealand?
Glaucoma is a really heavily researched disease. At the moment there's a lot of promising research into the genetics of glaucoma, trying to work out who is most at risk of getting glaucoma and looking for new novel treatments for glaucoma. a lot of research into the blood flow of the optic nerve that's affected in glaucoma. There's a lot of research.
Can we donate to the organisation?
Yes, please. We would love people to donate. So Glaucoma New Zealand is a charitable trust. We exist entirely on donations and sponsorships. And you can donate via our website, glaucoma.org.nz.
In July is Glaucoma Awareness Month. What have you got planned for that?
Well, so every July we have a big push with our public awareness campaigns to get the message out, to get checked. You will see a lot of boxes and posters through ASB Bank, through pharmacies and optometrists. We'll be getting more press releases and advertising out closer to July, but it's a big month for us.
The Tauranga public meeting will be held on the 18th of April at Hotel Armitage. For more information on glaucoma and public meeting dates, head online to their website. Restoring and improving heritage sites in the Waipa District is one of the points from the long-term plan. Mayor Jim Mylchreest tells me how the council are hoping to add value to pre-existing sites, but also build new facilities.
Well, we have quite significant heritage sites, particularly regarding Maori heritage. But in terms of Te Awamutu, the proposal is for a new museum, or potentially. So we're looking at building a new museum. And I think the really important issue is to try and link that to our existing sites, particularly the battle sites from the land wars. Very interesting opportunities, but there's also our natural heritage as well, and the mangatau trees and kakapuku, I should say, and Parongia Mountain, obviously very significant historical sites as well as heritage sites and the natural environment. So we're looking at promoting those and linking those facilities, I suppose. Yeah.
Now, will the museum in Te Awamutu encompass the Waipa District's heritage sites, or just for Te Awamutu?
No, we're retaining the Cambridge Museum as a heritage site, obviously, but that will be the district museum, I suppose. So there'll be a bit of an overlap, but certainly the Historical Society that runs the Cambridge Museum still would stay in existence, and council partly funds that through grants, and that would continue.
Yeah, I really like the Cambridge Museum.
Yeah, great. That's good to hear.
Does that mean that Cambridge ratepayers will have to pay for the museum in Te Awamutu because it is a wider one?
Yeah, what we've tried to do in the Waipa District, and it is difficult when you have a number of towns, but we've tried to link the towns and treat the whole district as one. So wherever possible, and predominantly most of our facilities are funded across the district.
Okay. According to the LTP, by 2041, a third of the population of Waipa will be over the age of 65. How are you addressing this?
Well, I suppose you can look at it as a disadvantage, but certainly we're very fortunate that we've got population growth. But certainly it's a worldwide phenomenon, I suppose, that's been predicted for many years. It's the baby boomers all actually hitting that retirement age. So we have significant growth in our retirement complexes and people moving into the district for retirement purposes. Having said that, we still have growth in the younger population as well. Growth in the Cambridge High, looking to go from 1,400 students to 1,800. So, yes, we have a much higher proportion of our population in that aged bracket. So we really need to look at designing our facilities, I suppose, to cater for that, and rather than heaps more playing fields and rugby fields, we need to be looking at improving our cycleways, our walkways, and those activities that relate, I suppose, to that changing population trend. We also need to take account of the fact that people used to retire at 60 and that they didn't do anything else other than what their hobbies were. and now it's 65, and people, as long as they're fit and healthy, a lot of people are working through to their 70s now. So a lot of those people who are going to be over 65 may still be working, but the real issue is for us and other local bodies is to look to have buoyant, I suppose, employment opportunities in their towns.
Thanks, Jim. If you live in the Waipa District, head to their website to submit your feedback. Stay with us for more in-depth interviews on Central News. Welcome back to Central News. The Baycourt Community and Arts Centre is Tauranga's premier performing arts facility, used by local, regional, national and international performances and exhibitions. Central News talks to the new manager Megan to find out how she's settling in and what's coming out for the Baycourt Community and Arts Centre.
My role is to manage the day-to-day staff. So we have 9 staff at Baycourt, and they all have their individual roles: event coordinator, ticketing managers, marketing, patron experience, technical. So they all manage their own departments, and then my role is to oversee exactly what they're doing.
So what exactly is your background?
My background is theatre mainly. I grew up as a theatre brat, so in community theatre. I was on the stage in The Sound of Music from the age of 5 years old, so theatre's a huge part of my background. As I got older, I went into arts management. So before arts management, I was a lighting designer, director, actor, stage manager, producer, everything that you can try and do to make money in the arts. And then I realised to really make a living in the arts, I needed to get into arts management. And I started at the Hawke's Bay Opera House as the tech and ops coordinator. And then I moved up to event coordinator, and then I moved up to arts programming manager. So that was over a 5-year period. And then I went on to become the director of the Oamaru Opera House. And I was there for 2.5 years. And now I've landed in Tauranga, so back in the north where I'm from. So.
Now, are there any particular challenges that you have came across in your new role here as manager?
It is a fairly challenging industry. We're a council-run facility, so that can be a challenge. Arts is always quite tricky to put into bureaucracy in a way, you know, into that kind of, and council has to have those guidelines. So that's a challenge sometimes, fitting the arts into that. It's also, the challenge is dealing with, we have lots of different customers, so we don't just have someone buying a product. We have customers that are buying tickets to come and see a show that we're not actually responsible for. So we have to deal with a lot of customers coming in and experiencing other product brought in, but into our surroundings. So our focus is very much on customer service. And that can be challenging, because if you're not responsible for the product that people are buying and they don't like it, then you know it can be quite challenging. But also we're also dealing with the promoters that hire the venue. So it's trying to fit all of those things in, and also we want the hirers, the promoters, to come and use the venue. But if they're not selling enough seats, they stop coming to Tauranga. So we've got to really promote to our community, come and see the show or it won't come. And in the same challenge is making sure that we've still got community events being held here, so that community organisations are using this space, so that you know, I've talked to so many women in their 80s that have said, when I was 6 I danced on a stage, not this one because it wasn't built back then, but you know, they always say, I remember when I was a child and I danced on the big stage. And I think that's how we can promote and ensure cultural diversity and advocacy, you know, so that people are on the stage but then they can come and watch shows. Yeah.
What is your favourite part of your job here?
My favourite, well, the surrounding. You know, there's not many roles in the world where you can take time out and come and sit in a great big empty theatre, and that can be really a really great way to think things through. You just come in here and you know, look at it. It's amazing. So I really enjoy that. But most of all, I enjoy the creative people that I work with. So it's the creativity, you know, it's the energy, the vibrancy, the excitingness of creating work and presenting it, and it's always opening night, and you know the audience comes in and they're excited, and it's a really great place to be. Yeah.
For more information on the shows and range of services the Arts Centre provides, head online to their website. This month, Hamilton will host 105 international competitors in the Olympics of the Trades at Wintec in the inaugural Worldskills Oceania competition. Taking place this month, New Zealand Worldskills team will take on competitors from Canada, India, Malaysia, China, Australia and Korea in a total of 30 skill categories. We talked to Chelcie Kuriger, who is representing New Zealand in the automotive technology category.
The two competitions are Oceania, which is held here in Wintec next week, and the other one is Brazil in August, and that's the big international competition with the rest of the world pretty much. Oceania next week is just a smaller low-key kind of competition, so just the smaller countries as such instead of the rest of the world, and it's pretty much just a build up to Brazil.
You claimed a silver medal in last year's competition. Can you tell us about that achievement?
It was a massive achievement for myself, and it was also a really good confidence booster to knowing that I did do something right and I can do it as well. And it was also a little bit about proving to other people that I am capable of being really good.
Any particular challenges that you had to overcome?
I've kind of struggled quite a bit with the electrical faults, but that's pretty much been what my aim was this year, to try and get rid of those and not be so shy about it as such.
Are there any particular international contenders that you have your eye on?
It would be very New Zealander of me to say the Australians, but I think just competing against everyone else is going to be an awesome opportunity.
And how much training time do you need to put aside?
I normally do half a day every week, and sometimes a lot in my spare time as well, like on the Saturdays and sometimes Sunday, not often.
How long have you been training for now?
I'd say about 6 or 7 months.
What does it involve being a member of the Tall Blacks?
It's a massive opportunity. Like, you don't often represent your country in something like this, and to be given the opportunity to do it is just incredible.
So Chelcie, how big is the team of the Tall Blacks?
There's quite a few of us. I'm not sure on the exact number. I know there is about 6 or 7 from the Waikato team that competed at Nationals with me last year that have made it further onto the Tall Blacks, which is awesome.
And what is the support like from the team?
The support's amazing. You've always got someone there to talk to, and they quite often get in contact with us and just check up how we're going and if we need anything else or extra support or anything.
Worldskills is on next week at Wintec's Rotakoti campus. For more information, go online to their website. Thank you for watching Central News tonight. We do post everything up on our website, and we also like to keep in touch with people on our Facebook. Make sure you like our Central News page. If you think you might have a story for us, email news@tvcentral.co.nz. I'll be back on screens tomorrow night with more stories from the Waikato and the Bay of Plenty. My name is Amanda Harper. Have a good night. Pō mariye.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.